Hello and welcome to Perchance to Dram. Tonight we are once more unto the breach with 2 bottles of Clyde May's whiskey. The first bottle is Clyde May's original Alabama style whiskey. .45 alcohol by volume, 85 proof. Flavor text: say what you be what you say. Clyde May lived outside the law. He was a moonshiner by trade and a craftsman by heart, using hand-built copper stills, fresh Alabama spring water, and the finest local grains. He vowed to make the best darn whiskey Alabama ever tasted. What is Alabama-style whiskey? It's Clyde's proprietary process that makes this 4-year-old American whiskey unusually smooth. Clyde May's whiskey starts with a nose full of green apples and peach, met with a creamy, straight bourbon wood spice that smooths to a lingering finish of fresh orchard fruits and spice. So from what I understand, one thing that they do with this is using apple somehow in the process. And from what I could glean online, it's something like rubbing apple on the inside of the barrels. So that's a thing. And though this is Alabama style whiskey, from what they call Conecuh Ridge Distillery, currently they source their whiskey from MGP in Indiana, and their operation is located in, I think, Florida. But with the capital that I think they've raised from this brand over the last couple decades, I guess, they are actually building a Conecuh Ridge distillery in Alabama, which is one of the more recent states to legalize the distillation of alcoholic spirits, along with, if memory serves, like South Carolina and Mississippi, some of the last states to at least re-legalize distillation after prohibition. Mash bill on this, if the internet did not mislead me, 55% corn, 30% rye, and 15% malted barley. Oh, strongly apple, very strongly apple, green apple specifically, cider, some spiciness. I get a little bit of pear as well. This is so fruity and sweet to me. A close thing I'd compare it to is like Irish whiskey, but it's a little darker, a little richer. Yeah, I mean, some notes there kind of malt, ale, brown ale, Sláinte. Yeah, so the palate begins a little bit thin and quite high sugary sweetness. Descends a little bit into more of a pleasant caramel toffee finish, spicy, nutty a little bit, baking spices. Ooh, okay. Now I'm getting a little bit more red apple, polished red apple, caramel apple. The palate in the middle, if you just continue to circulate it, lingers for quite a long time on sour apple Jolly Rancher. Not so much the sour, but the green apple flavor of it. It's quite lovely. Overall, this is pretty good. Obviously, it's not going to blow you away with its complexity at 42.5 ABV, but it has some nice flavors. All right, and now for Clyde May's bourbon. This one is 46% ABV and non-chill filtered. Mash bill on this, 70-something corn, 12% rye and 10% malted barley. I may have gotten that mixed up. And again, this is sourced from MGP. Oh, wow. I mean, a little bit of fruit sweetness goes straight into peanut. Like straight into peanut. Tiny bit herbal. Cashew. This is one of the nuttiest bourbons I've had. Not that that's saying much, but that is really interesting. It's just how dry and savory this is. Not what I was expecting. I like it. Starting to get a little bit more of the fruit coming through, but it's definitely a much lower layer. Some oak notes. Slosh. Hot damn. That's good. Again, strong nuttiness. A hint of some light red fruit, like apple. Almost just like the peel. There's just a soupçon of it. And caramel. Finish. Nougat. Char. Zest. Some of the fresher elements coming through. Apricot, butterscotch, still nutty, cinnamon, yeah, it comes down quite dry after you swallow. On the palate, it's a little bit of a muddle, like you don't get a lot of things breaking through, but it almost goes into like sherry cask sort of quasi-sulfur funk territory, which is very interesting to me. This is really good. It's maybe not a typical bourbon. It doesn't have as many of the sweeter notes. It's very different from the Clyde May's original Alabama style whiskey. However, it's very good. Starting to get a little bit more herbal now in the finish, like a nice Elijah Craig, something like that. I highly recommend if you haven't tried this Clyde May's bourbon to check it out, because it's a heck of a thing, full of flavor and very interesting and complex. Alrighty, so there we have it. Thanks for joining. Remember, if you want to help me out, please do like and subscribe. It helps to grow the channel and share more whiskey and insight and wisdom, I hope, with everyone. So until next time, happy Christmas and